Yeah, every time you go fishing, you've got certain things you've got to do. You've got to try and find the kind of fish that you're going to catch. Let's say you want to catch walleyes, or like I was today, I was after smallmouth. So I started out by going to some habitat where I know that there's a spawning bay up in here, and then there's some ridges and stuff going out into deeper water. And I know that the fish, when they come in to spawn, really use it, but the water was too cold. So I knew that they weren't in the spawn, so I went off that outside edge of rocks and then out here deeper with my eyes now, mind you. I could see the fish swimming down 14, 15 feet, but they were very spooky. So I didn't try to fish them. I backed my boat off over here and went parallel to them and made long casts off to the side so I wouldn't spook them at all with the boat, and just have the bait out there floating around and swimming or dragging on the bottom as I was with the tubes. And boom, got bit by it. That started to tell me something. My eyes told me the most. I'd see 2 fish here, 3 over here, here went 4 or 5 fish, here was 1 or 2, you know, little ones just floating around out in this stuff, knowing they should be someplace else and couldn't go to it. So they weren't in the best of moods, in my opinion, but I still caught a bunch of them. They were beautiful fish, big dogs, and figuring those fish out, part of it was my eyes and the glasses I was using to find them and be able to see them. Part of it was the fact that I looked for them. How many times do you go out and look for fish? I've caught tens of thousands of walleyes in my life that I've seen with my eyes. Maybe tens of thousands is an exaggeration, I don't know. But lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of them for the last 40 years or better. You can do it more often than you can possibly imagine. But if you're not looking to do it, if you're not geared to do it, you're just screwing yourself. I mean, out of the most fun you can have with fishing. When you can find them with your eyes and watch them bite, and I got to watch about a half a dozen of those fish bite the bait and eat it, and watch them do it and set the hook. What a gratifying feeling. Last June, like I so often do when I need a smallmouth fix, I went to Mille Lacs Lake in central Minnesota for some personal time. Well, here we are. Early June. I'm wearing a heavy guidewear vest over a shirt, and I got a jacket with me because it's cold in Minnesota. This is the craziest spring you've ever seen. But I'm going to see if I can snoop around and find a few big smallmouths. It's the right time of the year. They should have spawned already. Don't know if they have. This is my first time out on this particular lake, so we're going to find out. I talked to the guy at the resort this morning. He said the fish were 8 to 16 feet of water. They're skittish up here in this very clear water. So I stopped my E-Tech out here and I slid in quietly with the trolling motor. Just started looking. And all of a sudden, there goes a fish. There goes 4 fish. I mean, look at that. We're in 8 feet water or so. And you can see the bottom like it's your bathtub. Oh! Well, first bite of the day. I think it's a really nice bite. Water's clear out here. Look at the size of this thing. That's a big fish. Where's my net? There we go. My God, look at this thing. First fish of the day. Nice, big, fat, healthy fish. But look at this big chunk out of his mouth. I don't know what happened to you. My guess is somebody caught you before and wasn't very kind to you, but water is clear. There's just a few big fish. I've seen probably 8 or 10 fish just kind of floating around. They're not real crazy about biting. Oh, there's another smallmouth going right there. I just looked down, there's a smallmouth sliding, and I flipped that jig and minnow over, and he looked at it, and I just let it swing, and bang. See, there is no such thing as a small one here. That's what's so fun about this place. Now see, you could be a Facebook fish, you know that? Send a picture to Chrissy and say, look at this. Would you like one of these? I'm gonna catch a bigger one than you. Well, what have we learned? Other than I can catch them on a tube and I can catch them on a minnow, and I don't particularly care which they want to bite. My lumicraft got this little bait well up here. You put a minnow sack in here. Oh, look at that big sled right there. He looks like he got hit by a motor or something. Boy, they're spun up. Oh, there goes my minnow. Look at this toad. I mean, that's another 3.5 pound fish, 4 pound fish. And you know, the exciting part is I've caught 3 fish and I watched 2 of the 3 bite. And that's something a lot of people don't even think about when they go fishing, is the ability to sight fish. Smallmouth therapy, huh? Absolutely, it was smallmouth therapy for me, and there's hardly any fish that can give me that kind of therapy other than all the other kinds in the world. So yeah, there's perhaps more than one, okay? Like all. I love them. I love fishing. I love doing it. I love being up against it. I love trying to figure them out for that day, particularly with little nuances. And that's the way you need to look at it. What are they doing? How are they doing it? Why are they doing it? If you can figure those things out, you can figure out how to best catch them no matter where they are. And those are part of the challenges that you've got to gear your mind for. You're a hunter. You're not fishing at this point in time. Until you find them and figure them out, you're a hunter of fish. And that's the way you have to think about it. You can't catch what you haven't found. You can't find without running on something by accident or learning how to hunt them and finding them. And that's my choice, is learning how to hunt them and find them. That's where the fun is. That's where the excitement, that's where the gratification. I come up onto a place called Doe Island a few years ago. From about 200 yards away, I could see a black ring all the way around this reef. And I thought, my God, what is that? It looked like dead plants or something. I got close over there, and it was about 3 or 4 feet of smallmouth rimming this entire reef around the edge. There were hundreds and hundreds of huge smallmouth, at which they went right down into deep water when I approached. And those things amazingly happen when you're geared to be able to take advantage of them or see them. The glasses make all the difference in the world. Good glasses like either one of these pairs will protect your eyes from a flying lure and keep them from taking your eye out. And to me, that is one of the most important jobs that fishing glasses can do. More important than allowing you to see well in the water. Now, when they can do both, then you got a winner. I'm not expecting to catch a ton, although it's possible. I mean, it might run into a heck of a school. This year it is so cold, it is such a different year. I'm still trying to get a grip. I'm finding 1 here, 2 there. Score 1 for the tube. Different reef, same fish. I don't know how big this guy is, but I mean, that bait hadn't hit the water for just a foot or 2 and he was on it. Or she was on it, whatever the case is here. There you go. Another nice fish. Thing of it is with smallmouth, when they're up where they can get at it, you can generally catch them on a grub or a tube or some kind of a small little chunking bait like that. I'm using just this crawfish colored one here. Every cast I'm making, if you notice, and off to the side. I'm catching them, but they're spooky. Come on, where you going, Mama? Watch this. Get that net here. Just dragging the grub. Yeah, let's just let him swim right in there. To me, a smallmouth is about as big smallmouth like that is about as beautiful as a fish gets. And she's 20 inches. Ooh, boy, that's a pretty fish. These bass should have spawned a couple of weeks ago, but there's like the water's so cold they're still just up on the reef feeding, which probably means that the bulk of the bigger fish, they're not up on top here, but they're using this reef, or someplace on an edge. Maybe I can use that jig and minnow and get down on the edge and find them if I can't find them up on top. Oh boy. Oh man. You set the hook and it's like setting into my Suburban. Oh, big boil on the water. Another big fish. Oh, there's another one with it. That's always a good sign. There was another one with it that had to be twice this size. I never even seen any of you little guys when I was looking. Heck, you're not even 3 pounds. How about being disappointed with a smallmouth that's not quite 3 pounds? You can get spoiled here. I'm gonna flip one off this way. See how I'm putting it way out to the side? Now I'm gonna take the trolling motor and we're just gonna ease it along out here. Because the other smallmouth that I just saw, I want to catch that one too. Oh, got him that time. Oh boy, this is a big fish. It hasn't even come up yet. Oh, holy buckets. There's nothing like early season smallmouth. See, look at that. Just another football. Oh, look at this. Tell me fishing gets any bigger or better than this. If this thing isn't 5 or 5.5 pounds or more, oh, was that fun. Real complicated system. That one, now I've caught about equal on a tube jig or a little jig head and a minnow. And that one hit a jig head and a shiner minnow. Secondly, I don't want to say this too loud because there's other people on the reef and they're not catching diddly, but the fish are kind of spooky because the water is clear up on top. So I'm going off of the edge down here in a flat out in front of the reef, and that's where we're catching the fish. Scamp, you keep your mouth shut too.